Come on, Canadian internet, let's work. Coming at you, Dirk. Let me know if you got it. Yeah. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, sweet. Okay, good, good. I was scrambling there a little bit.
Hey,
What's going on,
thanks
man?
for hopping on here. Good to see you.
Yeah, man. You too, brother. I am. For anybody who, I'm at the gym again today. I was here yesterday at the same time, and so here I am. I'm in my car, and I bought this little what do you call it? Like a little get up on Amazon here for anybody who does Facebook Live. I don't know if you saw the one yesterday I did with another team member we had, but I think everyone got vertigo by watching it, and so so it's pretty bad, bro. So I apologize to everybody that went to the doctor
Oh,
today
with
from
your
watching
hands
that
all over
video
like this.
yesterday.
That's like
So
me.
I got my
9 o'clock at night.
totally, bro,
So
totally.
I appreciate you
But
coming
hey,
on,
buddy,
Dirk. I know you're a busy man. It was
yeah,
really good to meet you back in Chicago there, and got to hear your story. I just wanted I wanted to have you on here because not just because of your fame and all that stuff. That's beautiful stuff. That's inspiring. But the way you speak and the way you care about people, the way you build your organizations, how you have love for everybody, it really inspired me and my wife. But I just wanted maybe you could
mm,
tell my network a little bit about yourself. Maybe talk about your career and how you pushed through a lot of those rejections. Like I know that's what you talked about
mm,
on Sunday with Rick. Talk a little about your story, and then
yeah.
I'll give you some questions after that.
Yeah, well, thanks for calling me something like famous or something, but I'm definitely not that. I've been blessed enough to be a working actor for over 20 years. And when I was 18 years old, I grew up in Ohio, North Bowling Green, Ohio, near the. I
Same,
played hockey
same.
growing up, and we used to get our butts handed to us every time we went north of Detroit, and that never changed. But grew up there, and at 18 years old, they decided that I wanted to pursue an acting career. I had no business doing that. I had never taken an acting class. I wasn't in any kind of drama in high school or anything like that, right? So it was just a kid with a dream. I wanted to be part of the storytelling that we all
Man,
grew up and loved, right? I mean, who doesn't love movies? And Stand By Me was a very impressionable movie on me at that time. It was kind of right around the time when I made my decision, and I'm happy to support, or report that I had a great run, 20 plus years, and I still work on a show. And people know me from General Hospital, but I've done a whole bunch of other stuff outside of that. And I got introduced into direct selling. I was sitting in a chair one day at General Hospital in 2007, and my makeup artist was like, blah 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 blah, 4,000 a week, and I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, my sister's making 8,000 a week. I'm like, what are you talking about? Doing what? And she's like, I'm in network marketing. I'm like, well, okay, I've heard of it, but like what are you doing in network marketing? Like, explain that to me, right? Because that's really good money. And listen, nothing against them, but they weren't the most motivated bunch of people I knew, and not in a bad
yep.
way. They were just busy at work, and they were moms doing something on the side, right? And so I was very interested, and another guy that I'm on the show with named Steve Burton, and I kind of really dug into what they were doing. So he called me and signed me up, and I was like, all right, how do I do this? Sign me up. And that really started this kind of whole new life
Yeah.
that I created, that I learned. And I loved your story too, man. I thought it, and I'm going to tell it because we're both going to laugh about this moment in our life. I love that your grandmother signed you up, or
Was
you
my
signed.
grandma.
Awesome, dude, just awesome. Totally, totally, just amazing. But I had no idea what I was doing. Like you, right? You just saw your. I can tell you have an entrepreneurial spirit, and so do I, right? I've never fit inside the box of working for anybody, or it doesn't exist inside of me. Like I'm always striving for. I don't want to say things that are
Yeah.
unobtainable, but almost. I'm always reaching, and never, no matter where I've been in my life, no matter what I've done, I've always tried to push myself to the limits of the best
Yep.
life I could live, and making the most quality use of my time with my family. So So I found myself in a position where I'd been a working actor for a long time, and I always say I had more bad years than good, but I've been able to have a very good career. So I also knew what it was like for me to perhaps, have that end, because I don't know if you guys know this or not, but acting jobs come to an end, and we've all seen huge actors that come and go. And so I've been lucky enough to be a working actor. That's what I like to be known as. Someone I've played cops, soldiers, all this stuff, but I was used to making a certain type of income for my family and myself, right? And so when I saw the opportunity to make as much money as I wanted by helping other
Yeah.
people, which I thought was such an amazing concept, right? So that I just was like, wow. So in acting, and if you've heard me say this before, people they say break a
Yeah.
leg, it's supposed to be good luck, right? Well, they want you to break your leg, your neck, and your arm, and everything on the way down, because if I get the
Right.
job, they don't get the job. So the concept of truly wanting other people to win, and by their byproduct of that is you winning, was something very, very interesting to me. So long story short, signed up, and then I went about building my network marketing business back in the day. Now I'm on a TV show, so everyone thinks, oh, you must you must have just called everyone, and they were like,
Another
yeah,
time
let's
we'll
do it,
check it
man.
out.
I have, yeah, I have the same friends you do, right? I have the same friend, and they were saying stuff like, "What are you doing, bro?" Right? Like, juice. Monavi, okay, bro. Like,
I love
I don't know
that.
what's going on with you right now, but like, and it was like this, like what, some status level in my
I
life.
know,
Like I'm
right?
above, like building this business, right? Like, but it's because, Ty, they don't teach
No.
people this stuff, right? So I called my first 3 or 4 friends, and they all laughed. I don't want to say they laughed at me, but they just were kind of like, yeah, okay, dude, I'll check it out.
Send me the info.
Send me the information, right? Yeah, yeah. Just shoot it over to me, and I'll take a look at it, which is in the inbox and never being looked at, right? So I found 2 buddies and you heard my story, 2 buddies that wanted more than they had in their life, and
Yeah.
they were working actors too. Some of them worked once in a while in bartending. I told you the true stories. I had to bail one of my buddies out of a Mexican jail in '98. He's still one of my best friends to this day. Nothing bad happened. He just was drinking in Tijuana, and they decided that he should go spend some time. But I grabbed 2 of my friends. That was it, 2 friends, and out of those 2 friends, I ended up building an organization
Oh
of
my
thirty-eight
goodness.
thousand people. Right, and and 6 months after I had launched, I ended up making I was at the rank of a $500,000 a year salary in that company, and
No.
nobody was laughing anymore. Right, so. You know that story, because a lot of people are like, what are you doing, bro? You own a gym, you're successful, but I could tell from your story on stage is you had that entrepreneurial spirit, and you just can't teach that, man. That's
Amen,
either
brother.
in you or
Yeah.
it's not. You know what I'm saying? So, so
Yeah,
long.
dude.
Do you want me
You
to
just
keep
keep
going?
going. This
Do you
is
want? Okay.
you're answering everything.
Okay. S- cool, man. So anyway, long story short, 2008 happened. I did very well in the last company I was in. 2008 hit. Everybody knows what happened. The whole world
Yeah.
changed, the economy changed, and so the company that
Yeah.
you and I were a part of, Monavi, loved the product. I mean, if I could still buy it to this day, I
Yeah.
would. I mean, we loved it, right? So I was a firm believer in that stuff. I really loved it. And so I just, I took a couple years off. The economy affected the way people were spending money, and that was a very rich economy then. And then we went through the recession, and so people adjusted their spending habits of that at that time. So, I took a couple years off, and then I went and built another network with my buddy Rick, who some of you might have seen. If you're not on Ty's team, you should be, and you should definitely check Rick out. He's a great friend of ours and just an amazing guy. So him and I went and built another network together, and we crushed it. But we found what was happening, and it just wasn't all the economy in 2008, 9, but people were we couldn't maintain a team, right? So we were constantly in this meat grinder of having to like build and then rebuild and rebuild. And I just got burnt out, and I was like, listen, look, I was
Yeah.
compensated well for all the work I did, and so was he. Like, it
No.
wasn't like we didn't make
Yeah.
money doing, the deal. Right. So people are like, oh, it didn't work. I'm like, I don't know. I made $1 million in that. I guess it kind of worked, but I wish it would have lasted longer than it did. But I sure as heck did, and so did my team, crushed it. But what we found was we weren't having the duplication in leadership. And what does leadership mean, right? Leadership means that it's somebody that's taking the business by the horns and doing what it
Amen,
needs to
brother.
be done each and every day to grow your business.
Yeah.
Like you do your gym. Your gym isn't you aren't bringing in new people without your involvement in that process. So that's a leader is not somebody who's like got all the answers and is perfect on stage and polished and has an amazing background. I mean, it's none of that stuff. It's someone taking the hill. It's somebody in the trenches, man, just going, I'm not perfect, but I'm a ready, shoot, aim guy. I don't know if you are, but I'm like, let's go after this thing. We'll figure it. Like, I'll build my wings on the way down. I'll figure this thing out as I'm falling, right? And so that's really what I've always been good at. And so the whole leadership thing in these things is just being involved and doing what it takes to build it. Now, the way we were building it before, and the difference here that I'm going to hit, was I was in a freaking living room 7 nights a week, or at least 5, and I have kids and a wife and all this stuff. So it was really hard for me to be away from them. And everybody would always say, "Hey, Dirk, you're so good at what this pitch." At the story, and people sign up when you're here. So I found myself being the system, right? So Tyler heard this story. I came in a couple years ago. I got, Rick and I decided we were going to do this together. And then he signed up and I was like, I don't want to do it anymore, but have fun. And so Rick went off and with you guys built a massive organization, right? And I just couldn't, yes, he made $1 million and blah, blah, blah. That stuff is very impressive, and anyone who knows Rick would be like, "Yeah, that's Rick, though. He's Ty Cobb. He steps up and knocks home runs. He just is, he's just he's Gretzky. He's Gretzky, baby.
My network, Gretzky.
Yeah, he's Gretzky, bro. He's gonna score, and he's gonna make it look easy, and you're gonna be like, "Wow, that was amazing," But what I'm seeing here now with this organization and the Overcome Nation Business School, and just to boil this down and make it, foolproof for anybody who's like, what does that mean? It's the process in which we build now. So instead of you being out and doing what we used to call tastings or whatever you want to call them 5 or 6 nights a week, right? Exactly. We're able to build this business from a cell phone, and I'm sitting in a car at the gym right now getting ready to go in, right? And Tyler's in Canada. Like, there's never been a time in business in history where you can build an effective business this way, right? Yes, we have a very trained. We have a conversation that we start talking about, franchises, and maybe we can touch on that in a second. But I'm just trying to give everyone, everybody, like, okay, what does this mean for me, and how do I build, right? Like, there's not a secret science here. It's like we teach you how to have this normal conversation, because nobody likes to be weird, and I don't like weird people, where it's very relatable message to the people that are in your networks, right? So I'm no different than anyone else, right? I still, I have dreams and aspirations, and I also like being independent of my income that I work with on ABC and other shows, right? Because I have control over my destiny this way. I don't have to take jobs I don't want to have to take. Maybe, Tyler doesn't want to have to open 4 gyms.
1 gym.
How many? You own 1 gym right now, right?
That's enough.
And that's enough work in itself, right? So let's talk a little bit about, here's some of the speak that you'll learn inside of the Viseo Overcome Nation. I know you've heard Tyler talk about it before, but, Tyler, so each person in a network is like a franchise, right? And maybe you've already talked about this, right, Ty? So Ty's one guy, and so Ty, in order to get, to grow his business, he would need to go open another location, hire new people, buy the equipment. I mean, I'm sure there's 20 things on this list. Yeah. Risk a whole bunch of money, right? Risk a whole bunch of money just to get it up and just to open your doors. And you would probably expect to be negative income for at least 2 years, if not longer, just to get your money back. Let's not talk about being in the black yet, right? Right. So here we are in this business, and this is what people don't understand about networking in general. Yes, the products have to be amazing, and we already talked about that. Arguably, they have to be number one. Secondly, right, and secondly, the company has got to be, you've got
Yeah.
to know who's leading the company, and we can bore you with how great our team is, but we can get into that stuff later. But you have to have sorry, I had somebody waving at me literally outside my window. I think they think I was talking to them. I'm like, no, I'm on the phone here. Um, but my point is Tyler can go out and me and sign up a person, and that's like another gym for him, right? And then Tyler helps that person sign up two more people, and now it's like four gyms for him, right? And so each person is their own franchise. So not only are you the CEO of your own franchise, he also has, however many people are in his team, they're all CEOs of their franchise, but they're also franchises for him, right? That he's able to be all over and spread like wildfire and earn money while he's sleeping. And we all know if you don't figure out a way to make money while you're awake, you're going to be working for the rest of your life. So, when you understand the concept of what we do, it's just, and a lot of people, Tyler,
No.
don't take it seriously, right? Because it doesn't cost it doesn't cost $1 million, right? You don't have to put up $500,000 of money, or take out a second mortgage on your home. That's a real business, right? Hey, well, yeah, but I bought a Big B coffee.